And I was sitting in the green room in like a G-string, eating cans of tuna. And I was like, you know what? I think that there's something else out there for me.
Thor Ragnarok was kind of a page one rewrite for the character in a lot of ways. Assuming the knowledge of like how many fingers must be in the future of that character and like the molding of it, I want to know kind of from you how much of that was Disney coming to you and saying, hey, make him a Taika character, or was it you saying like, I have an idea for him and this is what I want to do?
Well, really it was, they wanted to do something different with him, but also a lot of that was Chris. So Chris wanted to do something, to make the character interesting for him, he wanted to do something different, because I think in all honesty, that character, they hadn't really, wow, my voice is so husky right now, so sexy. It's not lost on me. I'm going to go back to my hotel and I'm going to just talk to myself. So, yeah, and I had ideas about like, yeah, because my ideas of what a hero should be in a film like that is basically Kurt Russell. You know, who is the greatest heroic actor of all time.
Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell in Big Trouble in Little China is the greatest. Jack Burton, the only thing, his only motivation in the entire film is to get his truck back. That's all he wants. He comes across these crazy situations and monsters and he's like, oh man, I just want my truck back. And that's the kind of like, it's like he's an everyman who's like put in a, you know, so with Thor, really when you look at what, yeah, if those of you who've seen it, when you look at the story, it's a rich kid who's like trapped in the ghetto. And he's trying to get home. And that's it. You know, he's just like, I just want to go home. It's scary. I want to go home. You know? So that's it. And if you can like tap into that, you know, and like, okay, people identify with that. It's like, there's a guy who just wants to go home. And yeah, it's just as a murderer. But like, yeah, so that's really what, you know, I said to them was like, you guys you just got to like tap into like Chris's, like his ability to be, he's a very, very funny guy. And so, you know, and so I think like what we managed to do, luckily, was, you know, put more of Chris into the character. And so it's really, you know, he was able to play more of himself into the character, and that's why I think the character is now the most popular character in the MCU.
Tell us about Jojo Rabbit.
One person. My assistant. Jojo Rabbit is a film I wrote like in 2011, I think, and it's it's a comedy set in World War II. You got to do one of those. And what am I going to say about it?
Is that all you want to say about it?
I don't know. You're not going to show a photo of me?
No. I have nothing to show, but you can describe it if you choose.
I choose to describe it. What am I going to say about this? It's just a film. It's just a film about a little kid growing up in World War II, and it's really good. It's messed up. It's a messed up film. You can read about it. Okay. Just Google little boy. Little boys, World War II.
When will we be able to see Jojo Rabbit, do you think?
If it sees the light of day, probably a year.
A year
from now.
Perhaps in September at a film festival.
Yep. A year. 1 year.
All right.
That's the deadline.
Yes.
It's about a little boy growing up in World War II. He wants to be the best Nazi he can, and he finds out that his mother's hiding a girl in his attic.
Okay. There you go. That wasn't so hard. So in terms of getting into film then, what was your initial exposure to movies growing up? It sounds like you came from a very artistic family. Were you also watching serious cinema at home?
Not as a kid. Not as a kid, because why would you? But my mother took me to see Akira in 1989. And she said, "Oh, I'm going to take you to see a cartoon." And
She called it
yeah.
That's the way to get it.
And that was probably one of the seminal moments in my life where I realized, you can mix these things up, and there's no rules really. And after that, I came to filmmaking quite late, so I was basically painting all through my 20s, and then about 28 or 29, I decided that one thing I hadn't tried was filmmaking, and I was doing a TV show in New Zealand called, I'm not going to say what it was called, but I was playing a stripper, and
As you do.
As you do. And I was like getting my body waxed and stuff, and I was like, and I was sitting in the green room in like a G-string, eating cans of tuna, and I was like, you know what? I think that there's something else out there for me.
That was the moment.
Yeah, that was the moment.
In the
I remember sitting there, I was like
like
looking at the ingrown hairs on my leg. I was like, there's got to be something more for me. I don't know if is my destiny to realize someone else's dream of making a TV show about a strip club, and that's when I wrote my first short film. It was in that green room. So I have to thank that TV show for inspiring me. And so I wrote that, and that was Two Cars One Night, and that was the one that went to the Oscars, and sort of like in New Zealand, it's like you kind of get, if you do anything well, you get encouraged basically by the Prime Minister. Yeah, to keep going, to keep going. So, but the Film Commission were really great. They recognised that there might be a future for me, and so they said, why don't you keep going? Why don't you keep writing? Why don't you keep doing more things? So I made a few more short films, but it was really like I'm not like one of those guys who grew up with a Super 8 camera as a 10-year-old dreaming of being a filmmaker. Sure. I started dreaming of becoming a filmmaker in my 30s. Right. So it was like an arranged marriage, really. It was like I was forced to fall in love with it, and I did.
We have
eventually.
the G-string to thank.
Yeah.
Yes. Because so much of your work is about childhood, relationships between children and parents. I'm curious to know a little bit more about your own childhood.
When they met, my mother was going around prisons with her friend, giving books to inmates, and that's how she met my dad. And he was in jail, and that's how they met. And then they struck up a relationship. And so, he's an artist. He was a painter, a sculptor, brilliant artist. He's dead. It's fine. We're all gonna die. And so they met, and so it's like this weird sort of middle class Jewish family, all intellectuals and all school teachers, mixed with this farming family who were all criminals, and so it was like actually a kind of and artists and painters, and so it was a perfect kind of mix, really.
And as you're growing up, there's got to come a time when you're trying to figure out who you are in the mix of those two families, and we were saying,
which is especially to do with colonialism, and especially with, no one ever uses this term anymore, half caste, but growing up, that was like that was the term you'd use, and in New Zealand, there's a sort of this idea of being born strangling yourself if you come from two different worlds. Really? So I think throughout my life there's this idea of because you're dealing with two different races who are combating each other. And
that's seen as a negative thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
But I see it as a positive thing because it's two cultures who are self-deprecating, got great senses of humor, and have been oppressed, throughout time. So, yeah. So I take a lot of strength from coming from both those worlds, and I think I've probably spent more of my time identifying myself as a Maori filmmaker, but also that there's another side of me that is.
And did that shift as you were growing up? Did you identify as maybe more Maori from the very beginning, or was that a transition?
Yeah, because the Jewish community in New Zealand is very small, and we weren't practicing because my mother's family were communists, and they gave up religion, and so we'd observe a few things growing up, but if you're brown in New Zealand, you're going to identify with brown people.
Sure.
Yeah.
And within the Maori community in school and that kind of thing, the fact that you were biracial, was that an issue, or could you find your place there?
It wasn't. No. The issue really was that I was smart.
What do you mean by that?
And that's an issue that I think that most people have in not only culturally where you come from, but also in school as well. Mm-hmm. So I'd have to pretend that I wasn't smart enough. It's only now in New Zealand where you would admit to wanting to be a dancer or wanting to be an actor. If you'd said that in the 80s, you'd get the shit kicked out of you.
Really?
You'd just be like, wanting to be an artist in the 80s, when I was a kid, it was not cool. And so, where I come from, there's 3 jobs: growing dope, working in the forestry, and driving the trucks that take the logs out of the forest. Mm-hmm. Pretty much, I mean, there's other things you can do, but it's like there's not, So like growing up, if you were to say in the 80s, I want to be a ballerina.
No.
No way.
Well, that touches on something else I see in that clip as well, when the adult goes by, the man goes by, and he and the boy give each other the kind of the head nod, the sense of there's a code of masculinity, the boy's learning it, the man has it already, and masculinity has rules, right, including being tough and aggressive and all of that. And that's something that's come up in your work again and again. How do you feel about that definition of masculinity?
Well, that really is he's looking at a future version of himself. He's looking at what he could become. And so I think in all my films, it's always about, with kids especially, there's always a theme of what you could become, and it's a choice, really. And I made a choice to not become that, and I made a choice to...
How did you make that choice if that was so ever-present around you?
It's just too stressful to be in that world.
Wouldn't it have been easier to be a tough guy?
Nah, I think it's actually more stressful to be in a gang and more stressful to be trying to be tough and trying to fuck people over and beat people up and stab people. It's I think it's easier to... I mean, look, choosing the path of the artist is tough, but I think that's most of my family are in that world, and I see them, and they're stressed out all the time, And kids I grew up with, my age, they look 20 years older than me, I mean, I look pretty young because I'm just sort of blessed for this.
Yeah. It's hard to look at you. Actually.
It is hard, isn't it? I mean, sometimes I walk past a mirror and I'm just like...
You just can't.
Who is that? I mean, I'm telling the truth. It's just, and that's something I have to deal with every day.
I know. The rest of us can't imagine.
You can, because you're right next to me. Yep, and all of you can.
Let's try and get back on track.
Man, why are we talking about my beautiful face again? Let's get back on track.
All right, it's right here. I want to move on to Boy now, from 2010. And we have a clip, but a lot of people would have seen Boy. Have you seen Boy? Yes? All right, great. So
4 people.
A little more than that. If you haven't, please see it. You can find it in many places.
Yeah, just Google Boy movies. Google little boy. In the props.
Yes, yes, totally. What can you tell us about your film called Boy and the making of it?
And making it, well, it was an extension really of that short film, of 2001. It was an extension of that, and again, set in my hometown. A lot of my family are in the film. Yeah, like it was, and that's, I think, still is my favorite of my films because of the personal connection to where we shot, and it's a very personal film, and it's, I wouldn't say autobiographical, but I would say it's still, yeah, the most personal of all my films, and yeah, just to take a film crew back there, and at the time we shot, there was like no cell phone coverage and no internet, so we
Where was it? Where was the location?
It's on the east coast of New Zealand, so it's you have like, so you get Wellington, Auckland, and then that's where I'm from.
Okay.
In the middle of nowhere.
It's quite remote.
Yeah, in my town, it's a little fishing village, and there's probably like 600 people, and I'm related to everyone. So it's impossible to find love. And when you do, you don't tell anyone about it.
One of the things I'm most interested in, actually impressed by in your work, is that you take things that in other artists' hands, other storytellers' hands are tragic, dysfunctional, that kind of stuff, that material about people who don't have a lot and have a lot of hardship in their life, and you find jokes in it, which is a tough thing to do. How do you do that?
Well, I think luckily I come from a culture who makes fun of themselves a lot. You know, we're very self-deprecating. I think we find the humor we find is in the situation we're in. So it's not, and it's a shitty situation that we've found ourselves in, but also we've made the best of it. And yeah, I think we're funny people, and we laugh a lot. We joke about everything from being poor to being starving to being, to being in jail to every sort of shitty situation. We'll find a way to make light of it.
Okay. Now that's one thing when you're laughing within the Maori community, but to make a film that everybody's going to see, do you ever fear that people will be laughing at the characters in your movie?
I don't care about that, but also I don't. Well, yeah.
No, not a problem.
It's funny, man. I had this interview with this guy from National Geographic when I was doing that movie.
Really?
And after I did that movie, and he goes, "So tell me, when you took the cameras and the lights to your village, what was the reaction of the elders and the other villagers?" I was like, well, everyone pulled out their cell phones and took photos. And then they got bored because film sets are boring as shit, and then they left. Yeah. But so there's an image. Also, that film got terrible reviews. One particularly terrible review from Variety because I'm not going to talk about them. But and I think the issue that the reviewer had was that no one was riding a whale or something. It was there's not enough cultural specificity, and I was this is pretty fucking specific, man. And they're like, oh yeah, man, where's all the ghosts and shit, and all the people fucking talking to trees and floating around in the fucking in the realms of the spirits, and so I thought, we don't do that shit. We fucking mix our milk and try and fucking live.
Yeah.
So you do mostly comedy. That's what you're drawn to. That's what your
dare you?
Voice is. I'm so sorry. Pigeonholes you. But my question is, did you always know that was kind of what you wanted to write? And do you have any advice for people who want to write? Like right now, I'm writing something that's like very dramatic and tragic, but I feel like
Stop.
Stop.
Just
Okay,
stop.
just don't do it, eh?
We don't need any more depressing films. No, when I wrote Boy, the first version of Boy was super depressing and super sad, and Hunt for the Wilder People, the first version was like just sad. And I was just like, oh, I'm gonna be like Lucas Moodyson, I'm just gonna make it really depressing. I realized I don't know how to do that. I'm not good at that. And so I decided to just look at what I was good at, which is, I'm a reprobate, and I'm like don't like rules, and I don't like depressing films. Like I decided, I made a choice. I said to myself, "Do you really like depressing films?" And I said back to myself in a husky voice, "No." No. And and Jermaine said a really important thing to me when we were shooting what we do in the shadows. There was a point where we were like, we're turning like a 5-minute idea into a feature film. This is what we're doing. And he goes, dude, the world needs stupid shit. We need the ridiculous, because, who wants to go and see a film that reminds us about how terrible the world is? We just go on Twitter and let's just look at the news and save ourselves 2 hours. So I think we need an escape. We need these things to remind ourselves that we are stupid creatures.
I wanted to know, I heard a rumor that you're playing Hitler in Jojo Rabbit, and I just wondered about the choice of a Jewish Maori playing Hitler, if you could talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. The answer's simple. What better fuck you to that guy than...
I think that's your answer.
That's it.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Taika Waititi.